Hello. Thank you for coming back to my channel. My name is Sharice, and my channel is Whittles Cafe. And please like, subscribe, and share. Today, I'm going to be coming to you with some educational facts, a study done by John Gottman, and it's What Makes Marriages Work. And I thought this was appropriate because I was married 27 years and was with my husband 29 years before he passed. And so we had a successful marriage, and other people, friends and family that have been married like over 20 years, this study pans out because I found it to be true in my own marriage, and in talking to them, they find it to be true as well in theirs. So these are some tips that I think can help anyone that's currently in a marriage or thinking about a serious relationship, whether widowed, divorced. So that's kind of what this is today. But this study, again, by John Gottman, he and his colleagues, they have studied over the years 700 couples. And so this is what they have found to be successful in a marriage. The first one is establishing love maps. And that's just really having personal insight of your partner. So, you know, in an intimate kind of way, all about your partner, their likes, their dislikes, things that can kind of throw them off track, their childhood. And I think that's very important to know where someone comes from, because a person brings that into their adult life, their childhood experiences. So, domestic abuse, sexual abuse, whatever, it shows up in the adult life, and especially if that person did not get treatment. The other thing, you're going to know, what makes your partner smile, what makes them happy. And I think I mentioned this in another video, but it's worth repeating. Dr. Phil, on one of his episodes, I remember he said that he wakes up in the morning and he thinks about, what can I do today to put a smile on my wife's face? And I just thought that was just key. I just said, he got it, he understands it, and it goes both ways. So it's not just one person doing that. But when you can think about, what can I do to make my spouse smile, just something simple, and it's something that they could do for themselves. But when you can do something to put a smile on somebody else's face, it's just all worth it, especially your partner. The other thing that he talked about here was nurturing fondness and admiration, and it kind of goes back to what I said about Dr. Phil. I mean, it shows that he really admired his wife. And just in public, people can pick up on when it's true energy and synergy in a relationship, even in public, because it's just simple things. Just, a gentle touch on the shoulder, picking up the person's hand, without knowing anything, without hearing any dialogue, you can tell the fondness and the love that's there. Even when you see a couple for the first time, it shows. So the study showed 90% of the time when the couples showed that fondness and admiration, it made for a successful marriage. So that means in public, even in private, they're not just downing each other, just seeing who can go the lowest the fastest. I mean, it's not about that. And even if you're thinking about getting in a relationship, I thought this study was good, because if you're not married and you're thinking about a serious relationship or wanting to have a serious relationship, or you've been dating someone for a while, if these kind of qualities aren't showing up, if this person's not showing you respect, uplifting you, in a natural kind of way, not where it seems like it's so hard for them to come up with a compliment for you, but when it's natural, you're an adult, you know when something feels natural, and when it's not right, you know that too. Even if we want to put on blinders and look the other way, in our heart, we really know when we're being treated well and when we're not. And it doesn't take someone else to tell you that. You know that as an adult. And so that fondness and admiration, that is another key to a successful marriage. Turning toward each other instead of away. And all that means is treating each other as a friend. And it doesn't mean that you agree on everything, but what it does mean, you can agree to disagree if it's something that you're not seeing eye to eye on. And also, it talks about sharing the power in that relationship. So if I'm going to say, if the man seems to want to have power over you at all times, control, and it's his way or the highway, basically, that's not a healthy relationship. If you're not married, you may want to look at other alternatives, because and I found this personally, just because a person is in front of you, say a good looking man that looks good, smells good, drives a nice car, all of that, just because they're there, it does not mean that is the man for you. A lot of times, especially as we get older, if we run across a man that has, where it appears that they have a little bit going on with themselves in a positive way, we can think, oh, he's the one, because he looks a certain way, he comes across a certain way, but that's just all surface. It goes so much deeper than that. And so it's just real important to know that, you feel that you're being treated appropriately, you're being respected. If you're in a relationship, the power is being shared, and no one feels like they're under someone's thumb at all times. Your point of view is respected, even if you agree to disagree. It's respected. You're not looked down upon because of your point of view. So keep those things in mind, because that is part of a healthy relationship, when you can share that power, and letting that person influence you. It doesn't mean that it has to be one person's way all the time. It's release that. And the last thing it mentions is creating a shared meaning, and that's having goals that you share, that you have in common, that the both of you can work toward to achieve. I know personally, I feel that my marriage really strengthened after we had our daughter Jasmine, and she was like in 5th grade when she started all these activities, sports and all of that. And we just seemed to come together, when I think back, as a family so much during that time. And, you know, we would plan our vacation around her events. And that's really when I saw our marriage just come together succinctly and as a family. And so it's important to have those shared values and goals, because it gives you something to look forward to. It's a conversation you can get on, and it goes well. And even when it comes to politics, if you and your mate you know, have the same political beliefs, that can be fun as well. My husband and I were both Democrats, so we can enjoy talking about, you know, politics, but I don't know how that works in a relationship if you're with an opposite party. So if you can have some conversation and it be healthy and you don't start arguing about politics, that's wonderful. That's great. So these are just some tips on what makes a marriage work. It's more than this that can be involved. But again, this information, the study came from John Gottman. This comes from Essentials of Lifespan Development, John Santrock, 5th edition, on page 332. That's where the information came from. So please have a blessed day. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.